Hi y'all, I'm Tamara and this is I'd Rather Be Stitching. Welcome to my channel. Whether you're new or a returning subscriber, I appreciate that y'all stop by to spend some time with me and see what I've been working on. And I just want to apologize in advance for all the things. I got an antsy dog. She's walking around, so you'll probably hear her claws clicking on the floor. And I do have notes, but I kept writing more and more notes and they've kind of outgrown the page, so I might be squinting down at this a little bit. But okay, today is April 27th. This is my second start because I didn't even know the date when I started. And this is Flosstube number 22. So I'm going to jump right in because I have a lot of stuff to cover and I don't know how long my husband will be at his appointment. So so first I'm going to just do my normal whips, and then I'll go into the 24 hours of cross stitch weekend that I just had, and I'll let you know how that went. So normal whips, the first one I have is Koi Pond. This was one of the ones I picked for the 24 hours of cross stitch, but I never got to this one. So this is just where I was since my last Flosstube. Now if you watched my Flosstube extra about the 24 hours of cross stitch, then you've already seen where this is because it hasn't had anything since then. But since my last Flosstube video, this is the progress I've made. I've really been enjoying working on that. That is my first Mill Hill kit, so that's nice. Excuse me. The second one I have, this is by Pigeon Coop Designs. Daisy, come here. Sorry, y'all. There's nobody there. Stop working. Okay, this is Max Pigeon, the Heron at Dawn. I started this for Melanie's birthday sal. She's at Uplift Stitches. And this is what I did on that one. I really like working on this one too, but I have been overcome by all the other things that I need to do and want to do. The next one is 100 Owls. I think, okay, these are temperature pieces that I was doing for temperature stitching. I think this one only was called once. So also apologize for the dangling threads. This is where I am on this one. I finished a little bit of this owl and this here, and then I started whatever that is. I don't know if, I think it's another, oh my. I think it's another one of the leafy type patterns. I don't think it's an actual owl, but I'm going to be honest, this was quite some time ago, so I don't even remember that. And I can't even see what y'all are seeing. But you get the point. It's not been a lot. It was only one day of temperature stitching, so there wasn't a lot of progress. The next one, which I think also only got one day for temperature stitching. Sit down, Daisy. I don't know why she's so antsy right now. The next one I think only had one day of temperature stitching. This is called Pemberley. This is one of several Pride and Prejudice patterns that Al Forrest Embroidery has, and Pride and Prejudice is my favorite book of all time. So it's been a while since I worked on this too, so I'm not sure. Oh, I started up here. There's little tiny yellow centers of this next set of flowers, and I think I did a little bit more of the border, but I'm not sure if it was here or here. But again, it's all right, Daisy. It's just one day of stitching. All right, and the last normal whip that I have to show you, go lay down. Go lay down. I don't have another chair for you today. Good girl. This is Bluebell. This is the project I'm doing for the Heaven and Earth Design Stitch Along for 2026. And I got to 6.5%. I don't know exactly because the phone that I have Pattern Keeper on is the one I'm filming on. But I think it's right at 6.5%. And that is my progress. I love this. I did have to stop, excuse me. I had to stop twice and take it out of the generic Q-snap thing that I was using so I could keep gridding. So I did all this and all this over here because I kept, you know, when I take a color, I just work it out whichever direction it goes. And I was running out of real estate that had been gridded. So look at that, y'all. I'm so excited. I got to 6.5%. My progress on this has stalled for the time being because it hasn't been called at all for temperature stitching. Even though it's assigned 3 different numbers, it keeps calling, where's my book? Here it is. Heron and koi pond are the 2 that keep getting called for temperature stitching, and I'm way behind on those. So we'll talk about that later in plans. Okay, those are all my normal whips. So I'm going to do new starts real quick so you can see the things I started. Well, I can't really do that. Okay, all of this section is going to kind of be a mishmash of the 24 hours of cross stitch, new starts, and whips. So since my last Flosstube video, I did have 2 new starts. One of them is a summer sampler. It goes with the, excuse me, the free seasonal patterns that I've already done the winter, spring, and autumn ones for. So this is the last one in that series. I started this on April 6th. This is where I am. The light's coming through the back. So why do I have a board here? To keep the light from coming through the back. There we go. Okay. So I started this on April 6th. This was the 49th new start of my 50 before 50. So there's that one. And my other new start is going to be a spoiler, so I'll just save that for a minute. Okay. So for my 24 hours of cross stitch, if you didn't watch the Flosstube Extra, I picked 5 projects that I thought had a chance of getting done over that 24 hours of cross stitch time. Let me start by saying I was way wrong. Okay, some projects, you know, you look at them and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm almost done. And then you start stitching it and you work for hours and hours and hours. And it turns out you were way off on your estimation of time. Well, that's what happened to me. So I will start with the least one. First, I did finish the 24 hours. This is the first time I've ever made all 24 hours. I actually stitched for 24 hours and 4 minutes. So that is really exciting. I think this is, I don't know, 8th or 9th, maybe the 10th time I've participated in these weekends. And the highest I ever got before was about 14.5 hours. So I'm super excited about that. I guess just the fact that I had put it out there and was going to be held accountable by all of you guys. And I actually planned really good meals that didn't take more than like 30 minutes to cook for the whole weekend. And Gabby wasn't here. And usually when she's here, she's like, oh, let's do this or let's do that, which is cool, you know, and I usually oblige because I can stitch. You know, basically I can stitch till I die, hopefully, but she will not be here much longer to want to do those spur of the moment things. So that's fine. I do that when she's here, but she wasn't here this weekend and the meals were easy and I got 24 hours of stitching done and I'm very happy about that. And I understand now why people who have completed the 24 hours every time are like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired now. Yes. It was very tiring. I don't know why. We're just sitting there stitching, but for some reason, just sitting and stitching is so tiring. I'm usually up like every hour doing stuff. So I try to set a timer when I cross stitch now to give myself an hour, and then I'll get up and I'll do things because I just don't like to be still that long. So, excuse me. So I'm really excited that I actually completed all 24 hours. So this is the piece I worked on the least. I only did 30 minutes of it, and I put in 69 stitches. And the reason is because the one I was working on the most, when it started getting dark outside, even though we had lamps on everywhere, it was starting to get difficult to do in the dimmer light. So I switched to this one for 30 minutes and the Azalea Biscornu, which got, this one got 5.5 hours. So there's the front side completed. I don't think I need this giant board. Let me try the small one. This is the front side, which I completed. I am leaving off all of the grid stitching that was in all the petals, and I frogged it out of the one that it was in right here. So I'm leaving off all that stitching. It also had some in here and more grid things all around the edges. I'm leaving all of those off. I just don't like them. Excuse me. So that is the front. It is finished except for beading. And here is the back. So the only thing on the back are these 4 motifs. And these 2 are complete. These 2 are a little less than half done. There is actually more grid stuff around the border here. I'm not doing any of that stuff, but what I am doing is, because it's a Biscornu, there's a big, thick line that goes all the way around both pieces, and that's where you stitch them together. It's charted in one of the darker pinks, but I'm actually going to do it in this green here since I took off all of the other green stitching that's going to be on this. I'm doing the big border in green instead of dark pink. So I have to do the big border around it. I have to finish these 2, and then I have to put all the beads on it, and then it'll be time to cut it apart and sew it together. And this is a long time in the making. Shouldn't have taken me this long, but I just kept starting all the other stuff. So, okay, 5.5 hours on that, and that turned out to be 609 stitches. And then the piece de resistance, which was also my birthday start. This is called Dancing Queen. I got it on Etsy. Gabby and I hand dyed this fabric for it, and it is a start and a finish. This is the one that I underestimated, because when I started the 24 hours of cross stitch, I had from here, from that yellow line up, completely done, and this was the most confetti thing on here. I didn't have any of the wings done, and I had the front leg done. So I just had to do this part of the body, the back leg, and the wings. And would you believe that took me 18 hours? I had no idea there were still that many stitches in it. This is truer to the color though. Look at this. We wanted to scream disco. So I'm super excited about that. So over the weekend, that was 1,939 stitches out of a total of 3137. That means that I was only 38% done with the pattern when we went into the weekend, and I thought I was over halfway done. So I was wrong. I had a lot more to stitch than I thought. I still had 62% to go, but it took me 18 hours. She's beautiful, and I think, how many days did I work on total? 12 days. It took me 12 days to do that. So I'm very happy about that. That was my epic win for the weekend. Okay. Oh, so this was the project I picked for my hashtag BeeDaySal, BEE Day Sal, which I am going to do every year for my birthday, because there's a lot of bee patterns that I want to do. And I love bees, but I know that's my channel name, but I don't love them enough to stitch them all year long constantly. I'm not that into them. You know, I love birds. I love stitching marine stuff, marine animals, nautical themed things, all the stuff. I love all the stuff. So I can't be restricted to bees all day long. But I am going to do that every year for my birthday. And several people this year joined in on me, and it was so awesome. So they are, excuse me, Karen the Twitchy Stitcher, Katie, which is Jeremiah's mom, Paula the 502 Stitcher, and Karen the Stitching L. They're all Flosstubers, and they all joined me. And Lisa, her handle is StitchinwLoo, and she's in the comments of a lot of Flosstube channels and stuff. She's really nice too. So they all joined my birthday sal, which was awesome. So I will put their links in the description box, and if you've never watched them, you definitely should. They're all really lovely people. Also, the Dancing Queen was my 50th new start before I turned 50, because I actually started her 2 days before my birthday so that she would count. So I did all 50 of my 50 before 50. So that is another win for this year. Okay. Excuse me. Let me get a little caffeine. I have not yet finished my morning caffeine. I was too busy writing notes and preparing for filming. Okay. All right, let me go into plans. So for plans, I am calling May my Marine May. So I have a planned new start on May 1st with Katie, Jeremiah's mom, and Lisa, StitchinwLoo. We all had this project and decided to start it together, and Lisa is starting it in honor of her mother's birthday. I don't know if her mother's birthday is actually May 1st or if it's just sometime in May. And this has got a glare, so pardon the crinkles, and let me take it out so you can see it better. Theoretically, so I can take it out. Okay. This is a Mill Hill kit called the Haunted Lighthouse. And I have been super excited to start this. This one is going to be, I don't know if they consider this a dark gray or black perforated paper, but it's going to be on this. I guess it's kind of a black. But, so we're starting this May 1st for Lisa's mom's birthday. But it's going to tie in really nicely to the plan I already had of doing Marine May. Because I will also be working on my floating house, which was my birthday start last year. Okay. I thought I was prepared for this. I'm not as prepared as I thought I was. All right, this is it's from the Fabulous House series. It's number 9, and it's the floating house with all the little sea creatures in there. And this is where I am for that. That's where I'll be starting. And then also, Stitching with Charlie is doing a Well Hello There sal for her birthday, and her birthday is in May, but it's not till the end of May, and she wants to go ahead and start. So May 1st, the Well Hello There sal starts. I know that it's not spelled hello there, it's spelled hello there, but I don't know if it has 2 E's in the hashtag or just one, and I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'll have to wait and update you on that later. But I did just buy 2 new patterns, so planned new starts. The Haunted Lighthouse is a planned new start. I'm going to pop a picture in of a well pattern that I got from Etsy, which I'll be starting for the Stitching with Charlie's birthday start. Whatever, you know everything I just said already. So I'll be doing this whale. And also, not marine life or nautical themed, but adjacent to that. I'll be doing this frog, which I also just got off Etsy. Both of these patterns I've had in my wish list for a while. So I'll be starting the frog for the Leap into Spring salve that Michael from Uplift Stitches and Jason X Stitch are hosting. And I am very late to this party, but I have been trying to resist because of starting the 50 new starts, and all of the things that I had already started were just kind of weighing down on me. And this week I'm in the I don't care mood. I don't care that I have so many whips going mood because I just finished one. So, you know, one finish equals 2 new starts, as they say. Sorry, excuse me. So I will be doing those patterns, but also I am going to take out my Deadly Aquarium salve that has long since ended. But I'm going to take this out and work on this one some more because it is also marine life. So that's where I am on a Deadly Aquarium, not very far. So I figured the Marine May, you know, a lot of people do Mania, and I don't want to do any of that, but I did want to touch some of the projects I haven't handled since last year, but also have a couple of new starts, because these are, you know, some newer people that I've started watching, and I just, well, Stitching with Charlie is the new one I just started watching, but she's really nice. And as soon as I saw the whale hello there, I was like, yes, I need to do that, because there's so many good whale patterns. And there were others that I was going to pick. One of them that I was going to do turned out to be huge. It's like 500 by 500, and I know I don't have the bandwidth for another really big full coverage. So I said, nope. The next one that I'd had in my Etsy save for later list for a long time is, it's like a floral whale. It's really pretty, but it was another one that was in the hundreds. And I said, no, that's still too big. Oops, I'm sorry, I kicked the camera. That one was still too big. So I just decided this is the smallest one I could find that was still a really lovely pattern. So that is my May plans. Marine May. June, I'm going to be taking out my summer projects. So I have several to me that look summery. Again, these are projects that I have not touched since probably last year. And I'm going to work on all of those, and I'll show them in the next video to refresh your memory. Or if you're new, you may never have seen them. And then July is Karen the Stitching Owl is hosting a What a Hoot Sal for her birthday. And it is any owl or any owl forest embroidery pattern. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think I have 4 or 5 owl forest embroidery patterns. So I'm going to take those out in July and be working on those, but also I'm going to be restarting the American flag, what is it called? Quaker Tiles USA flag by Vivsters. I'm going to be restarting that one because I was doing it 2/2 on 18 count, and it's already kind of thick and chunky, and I just don't want to deal with that for however many years that's going to take me to finish. I don't want to deal with 2/2, so I'm going to restart that one 1/1. So I'll be doing that in July. So those are my plans for cross stitch. Before I move on to yarn stuff, I have 2 new Flosstube recommendations. These are new to me, not new people. First one is Catherine. She's accounting my stitches on Flosstube, and the other one is Charlie of Stitching with Charlie. Both of these I've just been introduced to in the past few months because I've been attending the Stitching Owls Zoom stitching meetups. She does one on every other Tuesday for like anyone. She does some that are just Canadians. And then she does others that are for anyone who wants to join. So I've been attending those every other Tuesday, and that is a lot of fun. And I'm getting to know those ladies a little bit more. I don't know all of them yet. I know there are other people who attend who have floss tubes, but I don't know their names yet, so I'm getting there. But these 2 ladies are both very lovely. They have nice projects. I think I've only watched one video each so far, so I'm very new to their channels, but I really like them. They're very, very nice. So so you can check those out, and any of the ladies I already mentioned that joined in my B-Day sale, I'm going to have all of them listed below. So that is all of that. Before I go into the yarn stuff, I just want to let you know that I did have an amazing 50th birthday. I wanted something very casual. Normally we do very elaborate parties, and I spend most of the party doing the cooking and the food prep and, you know, being the hostess, making sure everyone is good, and not really... I enjoy it, don't get me wrong. I enjoy hosting and cooking and doing all those things. But this birthday specifically was supposed to be a board game birthday. And I love board games. And since most of my children have moved out, there are not people here to play board games right now because my husband does not like board games for the most part. So this was a board game birthday. 4 of my kids were able to come. And a couple of them had their spouses. My 2 grandchildren came. We had a very easy menu. So just, you know, the day before I made a load of egg salad and tuna salad and made sure we had tons of bread and chips and then sodas and all this stuff. And then for dinner that night, I made a taco bar, which was also super easy. Just cook some meat and the beans and then set out all the toppings, you know. And I cheated. I think I even bought pre-shredded lettuce, which I normally don't do because it's so pale green. It's not really green anymore. I don't usually buy it, but I'm like, whatever, man. It's still lettuce, right? It's just the lettuce reject. And and I really did not want to spend the day cooking. It was so much fun. Our youngest son came down from Virginia, and he surprised me with a board game I've been wanting for years. It's called Betrayal at House on the Hill. And there were only the 4 of us here that night. So it was me, my husband, our youngest daughter, Gabby, who, if you've been here since the beginning, she used to be on here with me. But when she started doing college and all that stuff, she started working, she got way too busy. So Gabby was here, my husband and I, and our youngest son, Corwin, who you have also seen if you've been here a while, because he's the one that's done some crafts, and I've popped little pictures up of him. We were all here. He gave me the present early. He read over how to play it while I was cooking dinner, and we started that night, that Friday, and the party wasn't until Saturday. And we all, including my husband, loved this game so much that we played it again a second time right after we finished the first one. So that was awesome. And then Saturday, everybody else showed up. We played some other board games, and then everyone wanted to play that game too. So that time my husband sat out because I think you can only have 6 players maybe, and there were a lot more people than that. So he sat out that time, but he sat over and watched us. It was still a blast. We played it twice more on Saturday. So everybody loved it. So my older son and his wife really loved the game, and apparently there's others in the same like family, like Betrayal family. So there's a Scooby-Doo version, which he wants to get, my older son wants to get to teach his kids to play, and I love Scooby-Doo. I'm like, I will totally play that game with you and my grandkids. It's awesome. The other one is called Legacies, and I guess it is the mechanics of that one, when you finish, apparently when you finish one playthrough, it affects future playthroughs. So that also sounds really epic, because how the game is, you're all working cooperatively in this house. When you first go into the haunted house, you're all working cooperatively. But at some point, there's something triggers, and then you go into the, what we'll call the hide or seek part of the game. Which at that point, usually one person will be the bad guy and everyone else will end up being the good guys, and you're going against each other now. So the first 3, so we've only done 4 playthroughs. That means we still have 46 playthroughs to go, which I think is awesome. But the first 3, I kept wanting to be the bad guy, and twice my husband was the bad guy, and the third one, I think our older son was the bad guy. But the 4th time, I finally got to be the bad guy. I was like, yes! But I didn't know how to do it, so we had to go outside, my husband and I, and he had to like kind of help me, tell me how to be the bad guy and stuff. And I actually won. My objective, according to the game, was to kill all the other players. And I actually won. I killed everybody else and won that. So that was awesome, because none of the people who had played bad guys had won yet. It was always the good guys that won. So it turns out I was a really awesome bad guy. So that was fun. Also, my kids got me, I should say my family, because I don't know who all went in on it. It was a very expensive massage pillow. But I've had really bad neck problems since we moved, and I don't know why. I think it might be a combination of like I'm sleeping on the other side of the bed from usual. My pillow is flat as a pancake, and the way I'm sitting to stitch now, I think, is affecting it. So my neck has been really jacked up since we moved. But this pillow, you lay on it, right? And it heats up and massages, and it does traction, so it like stretches your neck out. And it was very expensive for our budget. So they all went in on it and bought me this pillow for my birthday, and I got some nice perfume, and it was just such an amazing day. Excuse me. So I loved it. I had so much fun, and I always love spending time with my kids because I miss them. You know, they were my whole life for like 20 years, and it's only been, well, I think Gabby's been out of high school now 2 years, maybe 3. I don't know. Time has flown since she's got out of high school because I'm not like homeschooling anymore. But so that was all the life stuff. But the last section is the yarn crafts. This is just real quick. I wanted to show you for the dust mop cover that I was working on. This is where it was the last time I showed you. I have finished most of it, so this is all completely done. But when I went to put it on, there's not quite enough length to do the fold over and stitch it up to hold on. So I have to do just a few rows. I'm just going to add in on the border and just add a few single crochet rows to either end so that I have enough to fold it and stitch it up, and then that will be done, because this way is big enough now. But so that's for my dust mop. So that one is almost finished. And then I finished the first socks. So again, if you're new, I'm doing the socks 2 at a time. Well, I was doing them 2 at a time, but I had to have 2 different colors so I wouldn't get them mixed up. So I have a green one and a blue one, and I finished them. And right after I finished them, I cast on the second of the blue socks so that I wouldn't lose my momentum. So there's the second blue sock. This time I decided just to do the second ones 1 at a time, just because it'll be so much quicker. And when I finish this one, I'll actually have a pair to wear. So that's my second blue sock. But that's all I have. That is the vanilla sock pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady, and the dust mop cover I told you about was not a pattern. I was making it up myself to fit a dust mop that I already own. So that is all I have for you today. Hopefully I have told you everything. Oh, I did work on my crochet blanket, the big blanket I'm doing, but I only worked on it 1 day, and it's because it's so wide, I didn't think it was enough progress to pull it out. So yeah, I think I've done all my notes, if you can believe that. There's such a hot mess, I can't believe I made it through that. Anyway, so thank y'all for coming in, joining me, seeing what I've been up to. Please like and subscribe, and ring the bell, and you'll get all the notifications. I usually film once a month. That's probably not going to change, because as I just found out from this 24 hours of cross stitch, I only do about 100 stitches an hour. And that's when I'm sitting down, focused, really being good, because I listened to an audiobook during this. And so I wasn't even like looking at stuff for the first day and a half. I was literally just looking at the cross stitch and being good. And I still only do like 109 stitches an hour. And I'm like, okay, well, that's why I film once a month, because I want to make sure I have plenty of progress to show everybody. And that's just not a great speed. But that did remind me, I had something else to tell you. Goodness, what was it? I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, the audiobook. I finished the audiobook. I was listening to The Girl on the Train by Paula somebody, I think. Is my first time ever reading a book by her. It was really, really good. And I know they turned it into a movie, but I haven't seen that yet. I'm not giving any spoilers. It was just a really good, like, mystery type of book. So if you're into audiobooks, it was also very good for an audiobook. Sometimes the narrators are not good. I'm kind of picky. Excuse me, I'm kind of picky about narrators, but I think it had 3 different ladies narrating for the different characters, and they were all good. So if you're in need of an audiobook, that's a good one. When I finished that one, I started to listen to the Starless Sky, I think is what it's called, or the Starless Sea. I really don't know, but it's Erin Morgenstern. If you've ever read The Night Circus, it's a book by the same lady. I love The Night Circus. We read it almost every year. Gabby and I read it almost every year. It's such a great book to read in the autumn. But the Starless Sea, I think, is what the next book is called. It's not a sequel or anything. It's a standalone. And so far it's pretty good, but I'm still at the beginning. And when I first start books, it takes me a little bit to get into them. So I'll let you know in the future if I remember. Anyway, thank y'all for stopping by. I hope you liked some of the stuff you saw and that you'll come back in the future. Until then, bye y'all.